Hello everyone. Before sleep claims us, there is a sacred moment of stillness where we can turn our hearts to the Holy Spirit. This act of acknowledgement is not a mere routine or formality. It is a profound recognition of His presence that dwells with us continually. The Holy Spirit is not distant or detached. He is an ever-present guide, a counselor, and a source of divine strength. To affirm His presence is to awaken our awareness of the spiritual reality that transcends the physical world around us. In the quiet of the evening, we are invited to pause and consider the significance of this truth. The Holy Spirit is not a fleeting presence that comes and goes based on our circumstances or feelings. He abides with us, faithfully present in every season of life, whether we perceive Him or not. This constancy is a testament to God's love and commitment to us. When we acknowledge His presence, we are not reminding Him that He is here. We are reminding ourselves of the extraordinary gift we have been given, the Spirit of God residing within us. Acknowledging His presence is an act of reverence and relationship. It is not simply a mental exercise, but a heartfelt declaration that aligns our spirit with the truth of His nearness. It can be as simple as saying, "Holy Spirit, I know you are here with me," or as profound as sitting in silent reflection, allowing His presence to envelop you. In that moment, distractions fade, and the weight of the day begins to lift as we center ourselves in Him. When we affirm the Holy Spirit's presence, we open the door for communion. The Spirit is not a passive observer, but an active participant in our lives, ready to guide, comfort, and speak to us. By acknowledging Him, we create a space for intimacy, inviting Him to shape our thoughts, calm our hearts, and prepare us for rest. This acknowledgement also nurtures trust. It reminds us that we are not alone, even in our struggles or uncertainties. The same Spirit who hovered over the waters at creation and empowered the early disciples dwells within us, bringing order to chaos and strength to weakness. This practice also deepens our dependence on God. It is an admission that we are not self-sufficient, that we need His guidance and power to navigate life. Acknowledging the Holy Spirit's presence before sleep is an act of surrender, a declaration that we entrust the day's unfinished tasks, unanswered prayers, and unresolved emotions to Him. It is a recognition that while we rest, He continues to work, interceding for us and orchestrating all things for good. In these quiet moments, we are reminded that the Holy Spirit is not confined to extraordinary experiences or spiritual highs. He is present in the mundane, the ordinary, and the unseen corners of our lives. To acknowledge Him is to live in the reality of Emmanuel, God with us, through every moment of every day, God with us through every moment of every day. As the day draws to a close, the act of gratitude becomes a powerful way to center our hearts and align our spirits with God's goodness. Offering thanks to the Holy Spirit is not simply a polite gesture. It is an intentional act of recognizing His hand in the tapestry of our lives. Every day is a mixture of joys, challenges, and quiet moments that often pass unnoticed. Yet, when we pause to reflect, we see the threads of grace woven through each hour, reminding us that we are not navigating life alone. Gratitude shifts our perspective from what is lacking to what has been provided. It opens our eyes to the guidance we received in decisions, whether small or significant. Perhaps it was a moment of clarity in a confusing situation, a sudden sense of peace during a stressful encounter, or the words of encouragement that came just when we needed them. These are not coincidences. They are evidence of the Holy Spirit's active role in our lives, leading us with wisdom and care. When we thank Him for these moments, we deepen our awareness of His presence and His involvement in even the smallest details. Lessons learned throughout the day are another reason for gratitude. Life is a continual process of growth, and each day brings opportunities to learn, refine, and become more aligned with God's purposes. Some lessons come through triumphs, achieving a goal, mastering a skill, or demonstrating patience in a trying moment. Others come through challenges, setbacks, misunderstandings, or moments when we fall short. While the latter can be difficult, they are often the most transformative. By thanking the Holy Spirit for these lessons, we acknowledge His work in shaping us, even through discomfort. We affirm that no experience is wasted when placed in His hands. Moments of grace are perhaps the most humbling reasons for gratitude. Grace is God's unmerited favor, and it often appears in ways we least expect. It could be the kindness of a stranger, a beautiful sunset that lifts our spirits, or the strength to carry on when we felt like giving up. Grace is also found in the forgiveness we receive when we confess our mistakes and the second chances that follow. These moments remind us of God's love and the Holy Spirit's role as our comforter and advocate. By offering thanks, we recognize that every good thing we experience is a gift, not something we earned or deserved. Gratitude, at the end of the day, is an act of worship and trust. It is a way of saying, "Holy Spirit, I see your hand in my life, and I thank you for being with me through it all." It also sets the tone for restful sleep as we shift our focus from worries to the faithfulness of God. This practice fosters a heart of contentment, helping us to rise the next day with renewed hope and a deeper sense of His presence in our journey. In the quiet moments before sleep, confession becomes a sacred act of release and renewal. It is not merely a recitation of wrongs, but an honest dialogue with the Holy Spirit, acknowledging where we have fallen short and seeking His cleansing power. Each day carries its share of struggles, mistakes, and missed opportunities, and carrying these burdens into the night only weighs on our hearts. Confession allows us to lay them down, surrendering them to the one who can transform them into opportunities for growth and grace. When we come to the Holy Spirit in confession, we are engaging in an act of trust. We trust that He knows us fully, our thoughts, intentions, and actions, and yet loves us unconditionally. This awareness brings freedom, for we no longer need to hide or justify our imperfections. Instead, we can approach Him with humility, saying, "Search me and know my heart. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." P.S. This invitation is not about self-condemnation, but about aligning our hearts with His truth. If He wills, we wait. The process of confession is deeply personal. It requires us to pause and reflect on the day, asking the Holy Spirit to reveal areas where we strayed from His guidance. It might be a harsh word spoken in frustration, a moment of pride that overshadowed humility, or a missed opportunity to extend kindness. These moments, though small, can accumulate and create distance between us and the peace God desires for us. By naming them and bringing them to light, we break their hold on us. Cleansing follows confession as a divine act of renewal. The Holy Spirit does not merely point out our faults, He offers the grace to overcome them. As we confess, we are met with forgiveness, a gift that washes away guilt and shame. This cleansing is not just external, but internal, renewing our hearts and minds. It clears the clutter of negativity, making room for the fruits of the Spirit to grow: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-retrieve. Confession and cleansing are also acts of surrender. By acknowledging our need for renewal, we admit that we cannot change ourselves through sheer willpower. We need the transformative work of the Holy Spirit to guide us into a better way. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom, for it places our trust in the one who knows how to heal and restore us completely. As we end the day with confession, we experience the peace that comes from being unburdened. We sleep, not with a troubled conscience, but with a heart that has been made right before God. This practice not only restores us, but also strengthens our relationship with the Holy Spirit, reminding us that His mercies are new every morning, and that we are continually being shaped into His likeness. As the day winds down and the world quiets, seeking peace becomes an essential act of trust in the Holy Spirit. The night offers a unique invitation to surrender, to lay aside the cares, burdens, and uncertainties that have weighed on us. Yet, true rest is only possible when it is anchored in the peace that transcends all understanding, a peace that the Holy Spirit provides when we turn to Him. When we seek His peace before sleep, we are acknowledging the restlessness of our human hearts and our need for divine intervention. The worries of the day often linger in our minds, replaying conversations, unfinished tasks, or unresolved concerns. Left unchecked, these thoughts can disrupt our rest, leaving us fatigued in both body and spirit. In asking the Holy Spirit for peace, we invite Him to take these burdens and replace them with a calm assurance that all is in His hands. The peace that the Holy Spirit gives is not merely the absence of trouble, it is the presence of divine confidence. It is a peace that guards our hearts and minds, acting as a shield against anxiety, fear, and doubt. This guarding is not passive. It is an active work of the Spirit, keeping us anchored in God's promises, even as we sleep. When we ask for His peace, we are choosing to trust in His ability to sustain us, even in the moments when we are most vulnerable. This act of seeking peace also prepares our hearts for rest that is restorative, not just physical but spiritual. Sleep is a gift from God, a time designed for renewal and healing. Yet without peace, this gift can be elusive. By turning to the Holy Spirit, we align ourselves with the rhythm of God's grace, allowing His peace to settle over us like a blanket. It soothes our weariness, calms our racing thoughts, and reminds us that we are held securely in His care. Asking the Holy Spirit for peace before sleep is also an act of worship. It is a way of declaring that we trust Him more than our own ability to solve problems or control outcomes. It is a reminder that while we rest, He does not. The God who neither slumbers nor sleeps watches over us, working in ways we cannot see to bring about His purposes. This trust allows us to release our grip on the day, knowing that He is more than capable of handling what we cannot. In the stillness of the night, the peace of the Holy Spirit becomes a balm for the soul. It silences the noise of the day and replaces it with the gentle assurance of His presence. As we drift into sleep, this peace guards us, preparing us to wake with renewed strength and clarity. It is a gift freely given, a reminder that we are never alone, and that His love and care extend even into the quiet hours of rest. At the close of the day, surrendering our plans to the Holy Spirit is a profound act of trust and humility. It is an acknowledgement that, despite our best intentions and efforts, tomorrow is not ours to control. Instead, it belongs to the One who sees the end from the beginning, and whose wisdom far surpasses our understanding. By entrusting our plans into His hands, we align ourselves with God's purposes and invite His guidance for the journey ahead. The human tendency to plan is both a gift and a challenge. On one hand, it reflects our desire for order and purpose. On the other, it often reveals our struggle with control and our reluctance to let go. Plans can become idols, tempting us to cling to our own ideas of how life should unfold. Yet, in surrendering these plans to the Holy Spirit, we release ourselves from the weight of striving and invite divine direction. This act is not about abandoning responsibility or effort, but about submitting our goals to the wisdom of God. And, quote, when we offer our plans to the Holy Spirit, we create space for Him to shape them according to His will. We admit that our perspective is limited, that we may not see the full picture or understand the implications of our choices. His wisdom, however, is limitless. He knows the paths we should take, the opportunities we should pursue, and the doors that need to remain closed for our protection or growth. By seeking His will, we position ourselves to walk in step with His timing and purpose. This surrender is also an act of trust. It is a declaration that we believe God's plans for us are good, even when they differ from our own. Trusting the Holy Spirit with tomorrow means releasing our fears and uncertainties about what lies ahead. It is a way of saying, I do not know what the future holds, but I trust the One who holds the future. This trust brings peace, freeing us from the anxiety that comes with trying to control outcomes beyond our reach. Surrendering our plans also reminds us of our dependence on God. Each day is a gift, and each moment an opportunity to grow, serve, and love in ways that honor Him. By entrusting our plans to the Holy Spirit, we acknowledge that our lives are not our own. We are stewards of the time, talents, and opportunities He has given us. Seeking His wisdom ensures that we use these gifts in ways that bring glory to Him and fulfillment to our purpose. As we close our day with this act of surrender, we can rest knowing that tomorrow is already in His hands. The burdens of decision-making and uncertainty are lifted, replaced by a sense of peace and assurance. This trust allows us to approach the new day with confidence, knowing that the Holy Spirit will lead us, step by step, in the path He has prepared. As the day draws to a close, declaring our dependence on the Holy Spirit is an act of profound humility and faith. It is a moment of surrender, where we acknowledge our need for His power to sustain us and His guidance to direct our paths. In this declaration, we affirm that we cannot navigate the complexities of life nor fulfill our divine purpose apart from His presence and strength. This reliance is not a sign of weakness, but a recognition of our created design, to thrive through connection with our Creator. Life often presents us with challenges that test the limits of our strength, wisdom, and endurance. In these moments, we are reminded of our human frailty and the insufficiency of our own resources. When we declare our dependence on the Holy Spirit, we align ourselves with the truth that His strength is made perfect in our weakness. This acknowledgement frees us from the pressure to have all the answers or to bear every burden alone. Instead, it shifts the focus from our limitations to His limitless power. Dependence on the Holy Spirit also ensures that we remain aligned with God's will rather than pursuing our own agendas. Our hearts and minds are prone to wander, influenced by fleeting desires, fears, or ambitions. By declaring our reliance on Him, we invite His direction to illuminate our path, guiding us away from distractions and toward His purposes. This guidance is not coercive, but collaborative, as He gently leads us through the promptings of our spirit and the wisdom of His Word. This dependence extends to the strength needed for daily living. Whether facing physical exhaustion, emotional strain, or spiritual battles, the Holy Spirit is our ever-present source of renewal. He provides the courage to face difficulties, the patience to endure trials, and the resilience to rise after failure. By affirming our need for His strength, we tap into a wellspring of divine energy that empowers us to keep moving forward, no matter the circumstances. In declaring our reliance on the Holy Spirit, we also cultivate a posture of humility. It is a reminder that every gift, ability, and success ultimately comes from God. This humility fosters gratitude as we recognize that nothing we achieve is accomplished apart from His enabling. At the same time, it builds confidence, not in ourselves, but in the One who works through us. This divine partnership allows us to face challenges with boldness, knowing that we are never alone. As we end the day by affirming our dependence on Him, we are reminded of His faithfulness. He has been our strength in the past, He is our sustainer in the present, and He will be our guide in the days to come. This declaration brings peace, for it places our trust in the One who never fails. With this assurance we can rest, knowing that our lives are securely held by the One whose power and love are without measure. In closing, let us remember the power and significance of inviting the Holy Spirit into our nightly routines. By acknowledging His presence, expressing gratitude for the day, confessing our shortcomings, seeking His peace, surrendering our plans, and declaring our dependence on Him, we align ourselves with divine purpose and grace. And Seaton. These simple yet profound acts create a bridge between our human frailty and His infinite strength, equipping us for the challenges ahead and grounding us in His love. As we prepare to rest, may we find comfort in knowing that the Holy Spirit watches over us, works within us, and renews us with each passing moment. Thank you for taking this journey of reflection and connection. May you experience His peace tonight and His guidance always. Rest well in His presence and rise renewed for the purpose He has set before you. Blessings and thank you.